What's going on, guys? Hey, we're back. We got a very exciting video. This is a brand new United 24 video, who we love on this channel. They make great content. They've got all like the inside scoops and inside access to a lot of these Ukrainian military units. And this is just straight up combat footage. It looks like a lot of CQB, which you guys know I am not a fan of. So it's going to be, just because it makes me nervous. So this is going to be a very good video. But before we jump into it, I wanted to show you guys, some of you have already seen it. If you go to my channel, you go to playlists, we have the, TCCC adapted playlist on here now. This is something I've been putting together for, I don't know, a little while now, a long while now, I guess. But basically, TCCC is a rule of guidelines, tactical combat casualty care, a rule of combat medicine guidelines, SOPs, that have been in place since the early 90s. And it's kind of the gold standard of combat medicine. It has not been updated for modern peer-to-peer combat. Especially with the implementation of drone warfare. So this is my attempt, and I can't find any content. I can't find any anybody doing this, right? Basically adapting TCCC to what real combat looks like in a modern combat zone with a peer-to-peer war, or in a peer-to-peer war. So this is what I have put together. It's basically filling those gaps that the old school TCCC is missing. So if you're willing and able, go check out those videos. If they don't get as much love because it's not it's not this, but there's a lot of people that I think can benefit from it. So go drop a like or share or whatever. All right. I'll shut up. Please like, share, subscribe, you guys. We're on our way to 50,000 subs, baby. Let's get it.
No, this isn't a scene from an action movie, and there are no retakes. This is the raw, unfiltered reality of war. Welcome back to United 24. Today we have another compilation of intense, first-person combat footage showing how Ukrainian forces methodically storm enemy strongholds and engage in deadly close-quarters combat. From brutal winter assaults to high-stakes urban raids, this is what the Frontline really looks like. Hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and let's jump right into the action. We begin with footage from the winter of 2025 near Pokrovsk. Here, the Jägermeister group from the 144th Special Operations Forces Center is executing a highly methodical clearing of a house occupied by Russian troops. While systematically moving through the building, the operators suddenly notice an enemy silhouette reflected in a mirror. Reacting instantly and strictly following close-quarters battle protocols, the operators deploy grenades and immediately lay down suppressive fire into the sector from their secured positions, pinning the enemy down. The Ukrainian fighters clearly identify themselves as the armed forces of Ukraine and offer the Russian soldier a chance to surrender and save his life. However, the enemy refuses. He barricades himself deeper inside the room and continues to resist, completely ignoring the offer to give up. Consequently, the Jägermeister group proceeds with a tactical assault. The Russian combatant is eliminated. The house is successfully secured, and the team smoothly continues clearing the adjacent buildings without taking any casualties. Now we shift to a Special Operations Forces unit preparing for infiltration.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, this group we've seen a lot from.
Now adjacent buildings
down here, the 144th SSO. These guys are super solid. I actually know somebody who is an American that's in that unit now, and he says he sent me a photo of like their issued kit that they get. Dude, I couldn't believe it. I mean, we're talking like sweet ARs with optics and lasers and a sidearm with a suppressor, like really, really cool stuff, dude. I was like, wow. It made me think of in the International Legion 2023, we got an AK-74 that was used in the 80s, right? And now you've got units like this taking some foreigners, apparently, and they're just kitted out, man. Super cool.
Without taking any casualties. Now we shift to a Special Operations Forces unit preparing for infiltration. This group is conducting a high-risk mission in the northern Slobozhansky direction. Earlier, aerial reconnaissance had successfully identified a key enemy supply route, pinpointing specific areas where Russian troops were concentrating. After careful assessment, the command concluded that setting up a classic ambush would pose an unacceptably high risk to the SOF team. Instead, a more covert approach was chosen. The operators stealthily infiltrated deep into the enemy's rear areas, planted heavy explosives precisely at the identified concentration points, and safely exfiltrated without being detected. With the trap set, the team's task was reduced to maintaining surveillance over the site. As expected, the enemy patrol is spotted moving exactly into the kill zone where the explosives were planted. The charges detonated. The enemy squad is instantly wiped out. This precise act of sabotage not only eliminated the hostile forces, but also completely severed their infiltration route in that specific sector of the front.
Wow. So they snuck in to the enemy's positions while the enemy was out, or maybe on rotation or something, right? And planted these explosives, waited for them to come back, and then blew them up.
Moving on to the Liman direction. Russian infantry groups have dispersed across the area near the village of Yarova, preparing for further offensive operations. Reconnaissance elements from the 3rd Army Corps advance deep into enemy positions. Their mission is to clear the sector, lure the Russians out, and completely disrupt their communications. The approach here is deliberate and ruthless. Spot the enemy and let them get close, then open heavy fire and hunt down anyone who manages to retreat. The goal is to capture those who survive and force them to make radio contact, revealing the exact locations of other hidden enemy groups. We hear the Ukrainian fighters open fire. A series of short, controlled bursts echoes through the area. A rapid radio confirmation follows. The enemy target has been neutralized. It is now safe to exit the building. Meanwhile, updates arrive from other units indicating that the surrounding sectors are also under control. The squad can now carefully continue their advance. Up ahead, an enemy soldier is spotted in the open. The Ukrainian fighter immediately opens fire. The advance continues with extreme caution. In situations like this, you have to assume that the enemy might have laid traps or set up a desperate ambush around the next corner. A few more control shots are fired into the brush to ensure the area is clear. We can hear heavy gunfire erupting nearby, indicating an active firefight close to their sector. The fighters temporarily pull back to a secure position to assess the situation. Information comes through the radio. 3 out of the 4 enemy soldiers in the vicinity have been eliminated. Only 1 remains, and the adjacent squad requests clear lines of fire to complete the operation without interference. The team moves forward again. Every step must be calculated, as the remaining enemy could be hiding in an ambush. They come across the body of one of the eliminated Russians, and shortly after, a second one nearby. The fighters quickly search the bodies, looking for any valuable military intelligence, documents, or functional weapons that could be useful. The Ukrainian soldiers secure the enemy's assault rifles and, most importantly, their radio equipment. Almost immediately, they start intercepting Russian communications, gaining a crucial tactical advantage through access to the enemy's unencrypted chatter. Two more friendly fighters approach the position, briefly sharing their experiences from the recent firefight.
Бачу, вони підходять, кажуть, ладушка підпускають. Я їх підпускаю і тупо двома так бам-бам. І вони сразу лягли нахуй, ці боєш.
The squad quickly regroups, coordinates their next tactical moves, and pushes further into the hostile territory.
Сука.
Meanwhile, the Ukrainian fighters continue to monitor the enemy radio traffic, using the intercepted information to plan their approach.
Ладушок, може наш кріпак хай вийде, об'яснить ситуацію, що вони туди пішли, то есть, і хай він його жде в другій хаті, то есть, що той один до нього прийшов.
A decision is made to push forward. The movement is slow and deliberate. With no foliage on the trees and sparse vegetation on the ground, the soldiers know their movements are highly visible to remaining enemy observers in the area. Suddenly, an explosion rocks the area very close by. It's the work of Ukrainian strike drones. The fighters hold their positions, waiting to see whether the blast forces anyone out of hiding. Another explosion follows, then another, and one more. The drone attack is relentless, pounding the enemy positions with no mercy. Intel comes in that Russian soldiers are scattering and running across the courtyard. The drone strike was clearly effective, flushing them into the open.
Пацани, вони по двору бігають, немає. Ладушок, я помню, як залазить. Що ви розберете, чи друге?
The enemy has retreated into a nearby building, forcing the assault team to carefully coordinate exactly how they are going to breach and clear the building. A command cuts through the radio. Fire, followed by a massive explosion. Ukrainian fighters have deployed a heavy weapon against the structure. One of the soldiers remarks, "Not bad, not bad." They might have missed the specific window they were aiming for, but the strike definitely inflicted serious damage on the enemy stronghold. New instructions come in. The assault group shouldn't push just yet. A heavy bomber drone known as Baba Yaga is inbound to finish the job. This infamous drone has become a constant nightmare for the Russian invaders. And then the massive explosion occurs. It's so powerful.
That's why that drone has the nickname Baba Yaga, because it is scary as hell. Watch this again.
infamous drone has become a constant nightmare for the Russian invaders. And then the massive explosion occurs. It's so powerful that debris flies all the way back to the Ukrainian positions, even though they're taking cover 20
Looks like a freaking cruise missile hit that thing, dude.
to 30 meters away. The update comes through. The house has been completely destroyed. There's no point in approaching it anymore. No one is walking out of there. Only smoldering ruins remain. This moment perfectly illustrates the critical role drones play on the modern battlefield. They deliver devastating firepower, and most importantly, they accomplish the mission without risking the lives of the infantry. With the primary target destroyed, the squad decides to search another building where Russian soldiers were previously stationed. They look for abandoned radios, weapons, or any valuable gear. Look at the devastated buildings around them. Not long ago, Ukrainians lived here peacefully, building ordinary lives, until the Russians arrived, bringing their so-called Russian world and leaving total destruction behind. The Ukrainian group continues its advance. Headquarters radios in, confirming they have a visual on the squad from above, giving them the green light to keep moving. They enter a courtyard, maintaining constant communication, discussing their steps, and receiving real-time updates on the operational situation from command.
Лавочки можу так оставити. Потрібно працювати поверху, там зачем буде бігти.
За хатою, за забором, все чисто, все чисто. Підрозвали, підпаліть кімнати термобарами, не підпаліть кімнати, все підвали.
Все. Готові? Пацани? Я виходжу туди лавочки, їбажу.
The preparation is over. The operation enters its active phase. One soldier opens up with suppressive fire, covering his comrades as they sprint forward across the open ground.
So
The fire
cool.
continues, keeping the enemy pinned and denying them any chance to return effective fire. The squad breaches the courtyard next to the house where the Russians are stationed. They meticulously check every corner and use grenades to clear the basement. The mission is a complete success. 3 occupiers eliminated, 3 taken prisoner, and a radio station captured. With access to the enemy's communications, the Ukrainian forces were able to coordinate precise follow-on strikes, effectively dismantling near an entire Russian platoon and completely neutralizing the enemy's offensive capabilities in this sector.
So cool, dude. They come crossing the street or come back across the street after just smoking those invaders. It's really cool. It reminds me of this time we were on a mission and we had to basically hunker down with this group of I think they were 5th or 2nd Battalion Azov soldiers, and they gave up their bunker for us to go into it because we were getting shelled really hard. And these guys, incredible, they basically went out and like made these little ranger graves. The 3 of these Azov soldiers made little ranger graves, little dugouts while this barrage was happening, and they stayed in those while they gave us the bunker. Pretty amazing stuff. But anyways, the following morning, we saw them. They're like standing and they're talking with each other, and then they dap each other up and they look over at us. They're like, "All right, we'll be back." And they go and they assault a position, kill 2 Russians, and then come back, and like all before lunch, you know. And then they open up MREs, and I was like, "Dude, these guys are so badass."
And now let's move to another section of the front to take a first-hand look at a completely different, yet equally vital aspect of the war: recovering damaged vehicles. This is an unavoidable part of the daily grind for Ukrainian soldiers.
Давай, виходимо. Попробуй назад чуть, там є строк вернутися. Тачка вон, чуєш, на сітку проїхати. Розворот отам. Попробуй сітку потягти, я щас давай.
We see a group of fighters arriving at the destination. Several soldiers hop out to clear an icy anti-drone net blocking the vehicle's path. These massive nets have become an essential feature on frontline roads. Without them, the number of vehicles destroyed by FPV drones would be exponentially higher. The Ukrainian vehicle pulls forward, carefully maneuvering into position so it can easily tow the damaged car out of the danger zone.
На зв'язок. На зв'язок.
На зв'язок.
Ми біля тачки, біля тачки.
Бачу вас, много забачу. Присвятить низько, вас не видно, єлі-єлі.
Nice shotguns.
Давай, давай. Так, машина, біля машини обережно, не потягнула.
And here's the vehicle that needs to be evacuated.
То вони тут їздили, забирали коробки. Перевіряй свій фланг, коробки. Да.
There are no enemy drones buzzing nearby, meaning it's safe to proceed with the recovery operation.
Небо чисте, небо чисте.
Плюс, 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 плюс. Що тримає? Все, це я дягаю.
While the crew gets the towing gear ready, the radio operator confirms that the sky is clear.
Небо чисте, наш Марік знизиться, як прийняв.
Finally, we head to the Zaporizhia direction. Here, fighters from the GOR Chimera unit are conducting a fierce raid to clear specific areas of occupying forces. We're thrown straight into the action. First, heavy fire is laid down directly from the vehicle as it rolls into the area. Then the fighters dismount rapidly, immediately engaging in the firefight the second their boots hit the ground. Their objective is to clear every single courtyard and house, ensuring no hostile presence remains. They called out for the Russians to come out and surrender, but as we've seen time and time again, the occupiers rarely listen to reason. The team spots an open door in one of the buildings. That means it has to be thoroughly checked for hiding combatants. They forcefully demand that the Russians come out with their hands up. When no response follows, the guns do the talking. Every shed, every garage, every dark outbuilding must be meticulously inspected, because a desperate enemy could be hiding anywhere. The operation shifts indoors as the team begins clearing the houses. In this particular building, the fighters spot fresh blood on the floor, a clear indication that a wounded enemy is likely hiding nearby. The fighters toss a fragmentation grenade down into the basement. Following the explosion, their fire suppressive bursts through the windows. If the enemy does not respond and refuses to surrender, they have chosen their own fate. The fighters push deeper into the house. It's pitch black inside and refuse.
See this? Oh shit! In my opinion, I'm no professional, but in my opinion, this is how CQB should be done. From the outside, just shooting inside. Shoot everything everywhere and then go in.
To surrender, they have chosen their own fate.
Захожу, иди сюда.
The fighters push deeper into the house. It's pitch black inside, forcing them to be even more cautious. The beam of a flashlight cuts through only a small section of space, leaving plenty of dark corners where an enemy could be waiting. They systematically search every room. Suddenly, they spot a military backpack.
Вот рюкзак, военный рюкзак. Заходим дальше, чистим. Выходим. Раз, два,
Then
три.
another one.
Еще рюкзак. Еще рюкзак. Что, забираем, дальше идем с контролем, пацаны.
However, there's still no sound or movement from the Russians. The Ukrainian fighters quickly search the backpacks for intel before moving on to the next sector.
Все свои. Что, ебаться машину? Как в другому дому. Кроем, кроем, кроем. Двухэтажный дом, хуярим.
The command is given to return to the vehicle. The fighters execute the orders swiftly, relocating to another building down the road where occupiers are suspected to be hiding.
Высыпаемся. Давай, работай.
The tactic is familiar but effective. The fighters dismount and immediately lay down a wall of suppressive fire onto the suspected enemy stronghold. This time, it's a two-story building that offers the enemy a significant tactical advantage. To
So
counter
sick.
this, the fighters pour fire into every window and doorway, denying the enemy any chance to peek out or return fire.
Стоп, огонь! Подходим, гранату сюда готовим. Граната наверху. Давай, выходим, пи***ы. Давай, идем. Граната наверх, граната наверх. Давай, тут есть вход на второй этаж. Тоже со мной, второй этаж.
CQB.
Хорошо. Входим. Я тут. Сейчас. Пошла.
A grenade is tossed straight through the main entrance.
Еще одна.
After the explosion, a second is deployed to ensure the area is fully cleared.
Прострел. Со мной один на второй этаж, второй этаж.
The doorway is choked with thick smoke, but the assault team has to push inside. The fighters breach the building from multiple entrances simultaneously, methodically clearing every room. The suppressive fire never stops. The enemy could be hiding anywhere, so there's no room for complacency.
Чисто. Чисто. Хорошо.
Every single inch of the structure must be checked with extreme caution.
На втором этаже. Чисто, чисто. Держи отсюда. Держу. Раз, два, три. Зашли. Зашли. Чисто. Кто на рации? Давай быстрее, парни. Слава, я там смотрел. Там чисто. Парни с контролем пошли.
With the first building secured, the team moves immediately to the next one.
Давай, 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 парни. Давай, выходите, будете жить.
The fighters breach the entrance.
Давайте, не смогу, заходим. Да, заходим, парни.
Despite the darkness and the thick layer of dust hanging in the air, every single room and hallway must be thoroughly swept.
Чисто.
Another building is successfully cleared. The fighters head back to their vehicle, but the operation isn't over yet.
Да, выдыхай, блядь, пулеметчик, контроль пока. Контроль нет, потому у меня летел. Дура, это еще забрали, мешать, легко живот.
And here we see the first captured POW. The Ukrainian soldiers are trying to calm him down as he screams and begs for his life.
Все, тихо, успокоился. Оборонять. Все, тихо.
It becomes clear that he doesn't realize yet a fundamental difference.
Парни, пожалуйста, я вас умоляю. Парни, умоляю. Слышишь, никто тебя баранить не будет. Можем уебаться за баранить. Услышал?
Unlike Russian forces, the Ukrainian military does not execute unarmed prisoners of war.
Гранаты есть при себе? Оружие? Оружия нет.
The Ukrainian fighters begin interrogating the Russian soldier while tying his hands and preparing him for evacuation.
Сколько вас тут человек? Слышишь? Один. Он сейчас забросил. Слышь, а что ты тут шкеришь? Да сейчас, блядь, все. Ебало стули свою, дура, давай, крути. Кто? А ну еще раз скажи, кто ты? Ну, у меня бабушка украинка. А что ты сюда пришел? Хорошо, пожалей, все, все, встань. Слышишь, я тебя сейчас хлопну нахуй. Так, руки сюда положи, на базар, хватай скотча на базар. Да. И броня есть, автоматик есть. Соль.
They've also secured his gear, his body armor, his assault rifle, and everything else he brought with him. The mission is accomplished. The fewer enemies remain on Ukrainian soil, the closer the Ukrainian armed forces are to victory. That's it for today's breakdown. From the brutal close-quarters combat to the precision of drone warfare, these soldiers prove every single day what it takes to defend their homeland. If you want to see more real, unfiltered combat footage and support our work, please hit that like button, share this video, and make sure you are subscribed to United 24 Media. Stay safe, and until next time, Slava Ukraini.
Slava. For most of that, I was just quiet watching that. That was badass. That Chimera group, dude, that last group we watched, those are some bad mother effers, man. I love the amount of violence and aggression that they have when they start working, right? Just shoot everything, move, cover each other, shoot, move, cover, shoot. Just always, somebody's always shooting. To me, that's so much more realistic. It's how we trained. It's how we did maybe similar types of operations, but it's much different. And there's a time and a place for all of it, right? It's much different than like you're really quiet, peeking around corners, and pieing the doorways or pieing the room. And no, this is just like shoot everything, get in there aggressively, check, move, check. I like that, dude. That was really, really cool. Anyways, I'll tag United 24 in the title of this video and in the description. Please like, share, subscribe, you guys. And yeah, that's all I got. We'll see you in the next video. Love you.